Hello and welcome, TBU fans. My name is Hex, and this is your weekly recap for your 4th week of the Battle Union. And unfortunately, Juancito Marvel is not with me today because he is on vacation, if I do remember correctly. So it's just me, just gonna be a quick recap video. So without further ado, before we get this started, take a look at the description. I should have the playlist. I don't think all of the matches are up. We have an explanation for that kind of, but not right now. Almost all the matches are in the playlist. Go check them out. Go check all the coaches, and you're gonna be in for a good time. So without further ado, let's begin. Now for our first match, we do have the Birmingham Spritzies coached by Alex or Onesie Bennett up against the Jersey Weavals coached by Cloud, and as you can see, we do have a 3-0 victory in favor of the Jersey Weavals. This match can basically be explained by the unbreakable tag team combination of Wigglytuff and Donphan. Of all the Pokemon that could have been stars in this match, the Beedrill, the Tapu Koko, the Fortress, the Diggersby, the Mega Galade, and the Celesteela, it mainly comes down to the Wigglytuff Donphan combination, because not once but twice did Cloud pass two really distinctly powerful wishes into that Donphan right when the Koko almost but not quite killed it, and it was Assault Vest Donphan that managed to take hits from basically everything except the Slowbro, but the Slowbro is kept in check by the Celebi that Alex did not expect Cloud to bring. Obviously, why would he? The matchup isn't that great. He has Mega Beedrill, he has Tapu Koko, he has fairly fast U-turns that do a lot of damage to it, but Cloud, defying all odds, defying all expectations, brings the Celebi anyways, keeps the Slowbro in check, and manages to get a lot of damage out with his Donphan, while his Wigglytuff kept it healthy, and there was really nothing Alex could do to break that. Up next, we have the Harlem Gloomtrotters against the Oakland Rose Raiders, coached by King L5. Now, if you do flash back to Season 4, you might remember that the Oakland Rose Raiders did hacks out the Harlem Gloomtrotters, and Kyle was not too happy about that. That first turn hacks with the Spit F drop, coupled by a couple misfortunate crits, led to a fairly decisive victory in the Rose Raiders' favor. Flash forward one more season, Kyle ducks out of this match, sends in Merc to replace him. Obviously, he was on vacation, he wasn't really ducking out of this matchup specifically, but Merc is playing for Kyle this week, and guess what happens? Turn 1, Waterfall Flinch on a Drapion. Now, we don't really know what the Drapion was going for, most likely Toxic Spikes, but he wasn't Shukaberry, which means the Mega Sharpedo did basically 2-hit KO the Drapion in the first few turns because of the Waterfall Flinch. I think there was a couple crits as well. Yeah, it's very annoying to, obviously, 2 seasons in a row on the exact same week losing out to that first turn hacks. This matchup wasn't too exciting. Aside from that, there was a lot of throwing attacks into the Slowking and hopefully killing it eventually. It was just one big slog match, and killing that Drapion very early, eliminating any threat of Toxic Spikes, was obviously a really great boon to L5's victory here. We'll get a clean game from these two eventually, but it turns out that Kyle could not hide behind Merc. The Gloomtrotters will lose to the Rose Raiders in turn 1 hacks regardless, so not really much to say about this game. So we will move on to our next match, which is going to be the Houston Toxapex coached by Trev up against the Miami Dolphins coached by Sinister Sableye. This is going to be a 5-0 in favor of the Toxapex, but that score doesn't necessarily reflect the battle. The battle wasn't really a stomp in any sense of the word. It was just kind of an exchange of attacks and a great preserving of Pokemon. There wasn't really misplays on the side of the Dolphins. There was one where the Drochi was left vulnerable to an Earthquake from a Scolipede. It unfortunately got a crit, which means it died to Rocky Helmet. He lost his Scarfer in that, and he lost potential Death Fodder in because of the crit. So the game was mainly just exchanging of attacks. There wasn't really much meta inside of that. It was mainly just a trading of blows, ending up in a preserved 5-0. So our next match is going to be the Pittsburgh Power coached by Slyro up against the Meath Mammoth coached by Potato Jim, and this match is going to be a 3-0 in favor of these Pittsburgh Power. There was a couple interesting plays, I guess, for the beginning. First turn, the Mega Absol goes down to a missed Will-O-Wisp. Did not even know the Mega Absol got Will-O-Wisp, but it missed it on the Crocodile and died to EQ turn 1. That's obviously not ideal. We also have a couple interesting sets from the Meath Mammoth lines. We do have the Jolteon. It's just a Life Orb set, but it had Hidden Power Fighting and Signal Beam to deal with the switch-ins in Drampa and Crocodile. But we also have a Curse Gastrodon, which was a prep a decision from Jim to counter Trick Room. Unfortunately, Trick Room was not brought, and both of these mons didn't really do anything in the long run. Jolteon, I think, he got a couple, he kind of played it really awkwardly. Drampa basically walled it with a Roost because he didn't predict the Drampa on the switch in from Crocodile with a Power Fighting. Instead, he just missed out on the 2-hit KO, and he just got Roost stalled. The Gastrodon just ate a Toxic, and since it didn't have Rest or some way to heal that Toxic, it was no longer a threat, considering all of Slyra's bulk with the Uxie, the Vaporeon, and the Drampa. I don't think the Drampa was alive at that point, but the Uxie Vaporeon, to say the least. Jim's basically only hope at that point was the Flame Charge Colbur Berry Victini. He got a Flame Charge up on the Thundurus as it went for the Dark Pulse. Unfortunately, it was outsped by the Choice Scarf Thundurus that Slyra brought, interesting enough, to basically beat all of Jim's potential Scarfers, including the Flame Charge Victini. That basically sealed up the game. He didn't have the Garchomp set that would have swept the teams at that point, so it just got walled out by Vaporeon, and Slyra will pick up that 3-0 victory. Very interesting to note that the Heracross basically destroyed Mega Mawile before he even got to Mega because it got a Swords Dance up on the Vaporeon. That was cool to watch. Other than that, the game was pretty open and shut for Slyra, and basically holds true that Jim will never beat him as far as TBU traditions go. This will lead us to our penultimate game, which is going to be the Tennessee Dynamos coached by Ethan up against the Portland Timbers coached by RTK. We are going to have a 2-0 in favor of the Tennessee Dynamos here. Fairly straightforward game as far as Ethan was concerned. He whittled down all of Megalopony's checks and then cleaned up with Megalopony. He had a really cool Alomomola set in combination of Toxic Spikes to basically 1v1 the Tapu Fini. The Dragonite took out that Silvally with a little help from the Scizor, which was Silvally Fairy. The Bullet Punch took it basically down to 60, and then Dragonite killed it from there, and the Hypno, which was his third potential Megalopony check, got took down to about 30% with the combination of Return and Knockoff. The Hypno is cool. It got to pass a Z Switcheroo into the Electivire. Unfortunately, the Granbull was still fairly healthy and could live basically any one hit. He had a little bit awkward moving with the Hypno, as if he set up one turn sooner, the Granbull wouldn't have been as much of a threat, as he would have gotten into the Electivire one turn sooner, and maybe the Wish wouldn't have gotten into it. But other than that, it was fairly straightforward as far as Ethan was concerned. The Megalopony just ended up taking 3 kills at the end. The Zygarde was weakness policy. It never really got to have that set up. There was a Play Rough missed on the side of the Granbull. Might have triggered it, but I don't think it really mattered because I don't think +3 Extreme Speed would have OHKO'd the Megalopony, and it would have died anyway. But regardless of all that, the game was pretty cut and dry as far as Ethan is concerned, and he will take that 2-0 victory, which will lead us to the final match, which is going to be the West Coast Wiggles up against the Welchions. And as you can see, the Welchions will take that 1-0, and Paul is going to be 0-4, and I feel so bad because he isn't necessarily playing poorly, it's just the other teams are playing better. The Welchions are going to be a very, very offensive team. Basically, there's a couple moves that kind of dumbfounded Paul at the beginning. He had the Excelgor, which was basically his only way to deal with the Mew, and he left it in on a Scarfed Braviary. I didn't even scout for it, and he could have KO'd it and basically got rid of Frito's only Mew check turn 1, but he did get that U-turn off and didn't quite kill it, allowing Frito to get it out safely with his own U-turn, and then basically ended up going tit for tat with these with their mons. Each mon just getting a kill. Braviary basically got a kill every time it came in. You got a couple kills eventually before getting taken down by that Selgor, and it really just came down to there was just Braviary left, and it couldn't kill the Gliscor, because the Gliscor was super physically bulky and had that baton pass. Basically, we had that dynamic of every time Frito killed something, Braviary came in, took a kill, then he went into Gliscor. Braviary couldn't kill that, so he got baton pass momentum into something else, and then Frito got a kill, and then Braviary came back in and rinse and repeat, and we ended up with Braviary vs Gliscor at the very end, and we all know how that ends up. Frito will take the 1-0, the Braviary dying to his own recoil. That is going to be it for this week, but before we go, we are going to rapid fire through next week's matchups. These are all potential wild card contention matches because everything is within conference. Our first matchup is going to be the Birmingham Spritzies versus the Harlem Gloomtrotters. Our second match is going to be the Jersey Weavals versus the Oakland Rose Raiders. Our third match is going to be the Meath Mammothorns versus the Tennessee Dynamos. Our fourth match is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Portland Timbers. Our fifth match is going to be the West Coast Wingles and the Houston Tar Seahawks at Texans. Hopefully Paul can get his first win of the season. And our final match is going to be the Welsh Lions versus the Miami Dolphins. Not much analysis, but that's going to be it from us. My name is Jitex, signing out, and we'll see you next time for the weekly recaps. Bye.